on this. And now you're stuck with this guy in the corner of the room just making everyone feel weird because he's staring at everyone. Yeah. I can see a situation today where the Chargers get down on the goal line after, Eckler takes them all the way down. And just to show Gordon that we're all in sync here and we're ready for a playoff push, Melvin Gordon comes in and vultures a touchdown away from my Austin Eckler. But anyhow,
in
that game,
that's a weird situation. And here's a question just for your quick opinion. Is he still a guy they're looking to trade, or do you think now they're trying to keep him because they've actually lost some games where he probably could have helped him? What's the standing situation? Because we haven't really heard anything, but what do you think's really going on there with that?
Man, it's a tough
at this
call,
point, honestly, Dillon, at this point, if he's on the trade block, I love Aaron Jones, but I think Aaron is starting to kind of show he's that number 2 back that will come in and get you 100 yards almost every week, but it's in the secondary role. Like if you depend on him to be the primary ball carrier, I think he's just not. And so I'm getting more on board. If Melvin Gordon's available, dude, like I'm kind of like I thought we were going to take it back next year, But if he's available, I'm all in, like try to go get him because I think he is a dynamic guy, and I think he would really be an awesome move. But you haven't heard anything. What's going on with him?
I still think he'd be available for the right price. I mean, Justin Jackson being out kind of changes the Chargers' plans a little bit now. I think they do want to see how Jackson's going to progress through this injury before they send Gordon off because you don't want to be in a scenario where Austin Eckler is your only guy. But, yeah, I would think, a first-rounder and maybe a player or maybe a later pick, in 2021 gets you Melvin Gordon. So I don't think that's ever been in the Packers' wheelhouse to make a big move like that. But if you want to make a push this year, if you want to maximize Aaron Rodgers' window, then it seems like a move you almost have to make. Or is it more offensive line play?
No. I think their offensive line is going to be fine. I think Look, let's be real. Let's be real. If there's one real strength of the Eagles' defense that everybody knew going into this game, it was their defensive line is very stout against the run. So it doesn't surprise me that let's be real. Even against, I think that's the matchup, like, for the Eagles and, NFC East fans, that's the matchup that's most intriguing when you guys play the Cowboys, is because that's strength on strength. The Cowboys do not have an advantage when it comes to their offensive line versus the Eagles' defensive line. So last week's game, even though I was pissed off and I wasn't lit. I mean, we were playing that off. I was just really pissed off. But I'd been drinking a little bit, just enough to be a little more candid. But it's not a surprise that was a struggle, Dillon. I mean, we all knew. I mean, even you knew that defensive line, it was the secondary and the linebacking crew and stuff that more worried you. But that defensive line that's a studly defensive line. This offensive line is a good run-blocking offensive line, but everybody's going to struggle to run the ball against the Eagles if they stay healthy. I mean, let's be real. That's the strength of that unit, period.
No, that's fair. So I guess for me then it would just come back to the fact that the Packers don't really make moves like that.
And that's my point. That was my point on the postgame show. That's the old regime. And that's why they haven't won a championship or been to a Super Bowl and have lost, 2 or 3 NFC championship games since then, because they don't make those moves. And other teams, I mean, the Eagles I know it's not Melvin Gordon, but that's my point. Like, they took Jay Ajayi in a 4th-round pick at the trade deadline, and he helped run them to a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Like, the Seahawks did it with a 4th-round pick back in 2010, and it really, to me, cost the Packers a chance to get 2 or 3 swings at rings after the 2010 season and not taking Marshawn Lynch and letting him go to Seattle, which, by the way, he won a ring there, after the Packers, and got to another one after the Packers and helped beat the Packers to get him to that second chance. So, like, that was one of my points. Like, I know it's not in the Packers' MO, but this is also supposed to be a new regime that's supposed to be worried about it. And I see other teams, the Eagles do it, the Patriots do it. Teams that have quarterbacks that are already established, you have to make moves. I can understand not making moves when you don't know who the hell your quarterback is, because you need to be able to have certain ammo if you see that guy to go get him. There's a lot of teams that are like that they know who their guy is. Packers are one of them, and the Packers also have that guy who is aging. You don't have time to dick around anymore and sit on your hands and hope for next year's draft and what maybe possibility could be there, or go hope that the free agent, undrafted free agent rookie or third-year guy will come in and can fill a role. Like, you don't have time for that anymore. Like, and as an Eagles fan, dude, you should know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's why you guys are fly Eagles flying high, because you guys are living in exactly what I'm talking about. Howie Roseman is absolutely 100% aggressive if he sees an opportunity that he feels like is going to help you guys at least get to the another shot at it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But man, the worst thing in the world, Dylan, and you know this as an Eagles fan, as from recent history, worst thing in the world is knowing that they're not doing anything, and that the inevitable result is no ring, right? Like, that's worse than trying and failing, is it not?
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you feel like a move can be made to improve your team's chances, especially when you have an Aaron Rodgers who still can take this team to a Super Bowl and win it, if you feel like you're a piece or two away, you got to figure out a way to get that piece.
Yeah, but I guess I don't like the piece or two away, because it's never one piece, but one guy can make that left and right guard that much better, because he's a little quicker to the hole. He notices the guy and he can, make that move. And so it's that one piece. He doesn't really put you over the top, but he's a cog that maybe he lights a fire or helps everybody else, or maybe he notices something in film that the other guys didn't notice and points it out, and it improves another guy's position and his ability to get better just through information. Like, there's so many things outside of just results on the field that players can bring. Do you know what I mean? Like, football is so much outside of the field to get a result on the field. It's not like the one piece thing all the time with me. It's just he can affect. One guy isn't like, oh, well, he's going to get you 1,000 yards, so that 1,000 yards is definitely. No, he's got some experiences somewhere else. He looks at film a little different. He's got a little bit of a different perspective. He might come in and say something that nobody else in the building has said, because he's bringing it from an outside perspective of, boy, this is what people say, and it changes the building. It's not so much the results on the field. It's just sometimes it brings in a light and a little bit of something extra through the week, that it's not just about the stats and the play on the field that helps everybody. And so a lot of people get better. It's not just adding his talent. It's, that guy's perspective or what he might have helps another guy take a jump sooner than he might have. And so the team around him can get better or play better. It's just not his one result in his statistical area that puts you over the top necessarily. Like, he might come in and say, dude, Rodgers, we all look and laugh every time you do an RPO because you never sell the fake, and so the window's not there. And we all laugh about that. Ha, 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 ha. And then all of a sudden, Rodgers is a killer at RPOs the rest of the season off of one comment. It's crap like that. Because that's what his problem is, guys, by the way. Jeff Schwartz pointed it out.
No, that's good analysis. And, speaking of guys who elevate the play of those around them, also showing up on the injury report this week is Julian Edelman. He's still dealing with a chest injury from last week, but he's expected to play, and according to NFL.com, his snaps will hinge on how he feels. Fellow Patriot Rex Burkhead is dealing with a foot injury, and he's a game-time decision for this battle of 3-0s with the Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills today. Speaking of the Bills, Devin Singletary has been practicing all week, and he might participate in the pregame routine, but he's not expected to play, per Ian Rappaport. So You can expect another day of a lot of Frank Gore and probably more T.J. Yeldon mixed into the passing game. I can't imagine you'll be able to just pound and ground all day against the Patriots like the Bills normally like to do. Shifting over to another game in the Ravens and Browns game, you have defensive tackle Brandon Williams showing up on the injury report, but he's expected to play. More fantasy relevant is tight end Mark Andrews dealing with a foot injury as well. He's going to be battling through it. He'll play in this one, but his effectiveness may be hindered by the foot. Speaking of the passing game, on Cleveland's side of the ball, you have both cornerbacks, Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams. They're both listed as questionable right now, but I've seen them on some articles as listed out already. So when it comes to the passing game, I would definitely be starting Hollywood Brown today, despite a disappointing week last week. If he's going up against third and fourth string cornerbacks, I like Hollywood Brown for a big day. And this is a game the Ravens really have to.
I don't want to interrupt, but we have a special caller calling into the show. Hold on, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the show, Dave. You're on air.
Hey, morning, guys. I'm at work. I just want to do a little call-in and let you know about the injury to add-on. Matthew Stafford with a bad hip. Chiefs by 20.
Well, good morning, sir.
We've got Dave now bombing the show from work, probably hiding in a closet somewhere, or maybe he's in the kitchen raiding the fridge, per usual.
A very lucky. So that should be a broom closet.
He hung up on us. He dive bombed the show and then just didn't even say bye and hung up.
He just wanted to come in and take a shot at Matt Stafford.
That's all it is. He's terrible about Matt Stafford. And he must be listening or something. Dave, if you're listening, for shame on you. You're supposed to be at work.
Oh, God, yeah.
Continue on, sir.
All right. So, before I was so rudely interrupted, like I said, start Hollywood Brown today. He's in for a big day in a rivalry game between the Ravens and Browns. The Browns are wounded, and the Ravens are looking to put their foot on the neck. When it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the confusing story that has been Jalen Ramsey, apparently he's made the trip to Denver with the team, but is still up in the air as far as playing in the game with this mysterious back injury that he has been suffering from. We know he's also had a recent birth of his child, and that's legit. You know, there's no fake child in the area. It's perhaps fake injuries. But I have Emmanuel Sanders in a couple of leagues, and I feel confident starting him knowing that he might be going against A.J. Bouye, but he likely won't be going against Jalen Ramsey.
Can I get you on a sidetrack note just for people out there right now? Because it is week 4, and there's going to be things in fantasy world.
Oh, yeah.
Trades. What are some possible trade scenarios or guys that you should try to trade for in leagues as far as specifically running backs you should look for, and who would be good trade partners to get those running backs? Because there's a lot of that. Look, I've been talking to people, and that is the biggest mistake that is made. Is exactly what I did. It's not getting the guys at running back because there's the really good ones are few and far in between, and then they kind of drop off to a bunch of teams that have multiple guys. So it's just you're just constantly streaming different backs every week, and it's just annoying. So there's some people out there. Everybody's gonna start because the trade deadline is 4 weeks away. So people are going to start trying to get some trades here before the trade deadline. So who's out there that you should go after? Because you're probably not going to get anybody to get you the big name guys. But who are some guys that would be available trades that you look at that are good value to be kind of that more consistent running back for people that are running back poor like myself?
I mean, I think that it's a huge time for that with the injury to Saquon Barkley. I think the Saquon Barkley owners are panicking and trying to make these trades, and pivot, because you're not going to find guys in free agency at this point in the season. It's real tough. I mean, if you go on the waiver wire in our league alone, I mean, you got Jarrell Williams and Jamal Williams sitting at the top with Peyton Barber behind them. So it's just it's rough times. I mean, I think that a guy like two names really stick out